Hey queens, let me show you how you can use your rough pieces to achieve this beautiful cushion for your paints. And for this, you only need a little pieces of leftover fabric, and for me, this is what I'm going to be using. I'm going to fold this into two and fold it again to give me a square shape, like a circle. And I'm going to be cutting this like I'm cutting a fillet. First off, I used 5 inches, but later reduced it to 4 inches. So I'm going to cut this out. 5 inches was too big for me, so I reduced it to 4 inches. Now I'm going to be using needle and thread to run a gather all around it. So you should actually use cotton wool for this, but if you don't have and you want to use this foam like me, just know that it's going to be very difficult for your needle and thread to pass through. But if you ask me, I will suggest you use a cotton wool for this, or use a fiber. So when I was done, I just went on to use my needle and thread to mold this into a ball. So this pink cushion is going to be looking like the shape is like a tomato shape. So you can see the way I just continue doing that. You just have to go on to secure this very tight. So I'll be coming back to this, but before then, let's make a cover using wadding. I'm going to be cutting out a little piece of wadding, a circle that I'll be using to cover the rough edges for this ball, like that. So I'm just going to be cutting out a pieces of fabric that I'll also be using to cover up the wadding. So now it's time for me to create a wrist holder, and I'll be using my elastic band, my 1-inch elastic band, and I just went on to round it on my wrist to get my exact measurement. And right now I'm just going to be cutting out a casing, a fabric to cover it up. And I made sure that the casing was 3 inches longer than the elastic. So I went on to stitch that, and right now I'm just covering up my elastic like that. And I'm going to be taking this over to the sewing machine, and I'll stitch that down, and I'm going to be covering up my fabric also, and I'll just make a top stitch on it. So you can actually just sew everything together instead of using this method, but I just wanted to use this because I want it to be a very neat work. So now back to my molding. I am just going to continue to mold this into my desired shape, and right now it's time for me to form my shape. And you can see the way I'm using my thread to just round it. I'm just rounding it. I'm sorry, this fabric is very dark and you couldn't see the beauty of it. Like, everything is just dark. But if you want to use a lighter fabric, then you will see the beauty of this. So you can see how I'm just, going round it. So like I said, just use a cotton wool for this. If you don't have a cotton wool, please use fiber, because this foam is going to stress you out. So right now I am done with everything, and you can see how beautiful that is. So it is time for me to cover all this with my hot gun, and I'm also going to be fixing my wrist holder with the hot gun. So guys, thanks for watching up to this very point. If you have watched up to this point, thank you so much. Please remember to like and